You're on the highway, and there are exits everywhere. Exits to Loserville, exits to Losertown, exits to the life everybody says they hate but keeps choosing anyway. You know the exits. The one that says, I'm tired. The one that says, I don't feel like working. The one that says, I don't have enough time. The one that says, this is hard. You can take any of them. Any day, any hour. You can get off the highway whenever you want. But if you stay on it, you win. That's the difference. Every single winner feels what you feel. They get tired. They get bored. They get frustrated. They feel pressure. They have days where they don't want to do shit. The difference is not emotion. The difference is they do not quit. They do not make excuses. They stay on the highway. That's it. Now people say money doesn't buy happiness. And my answer is simple. How would you know? How would you know? You have already tried the broke version of reality. You wake up, you earn a little bit of money, you save for things, you buy something, you're grateful because you can't afford everything. Then an emergency comes. It wipes out your savings, and you go back to work. You've already lived that version. You know exactly what that life feels like. So why not try another one? Why not try the rich version? Why not try a life where buying the car makes no difference to the bank account? Why not try a life where you buy one, then buy another because you can't decide on the color? Why not try a life where you buy the jet, buy the yacht, buy the cars, spend absurd amounts of money, and at least know what that version of reality feels like? I'm not saying it's perfect. It isn't. Sometimes you buy all the shit and realize you don't really care about any of it. That happens. It's true. But that's not the point. The point is choice. I can always go back to being broke. I've already lived poor. Now I get to live rich. And we only live once. So don't you want to try all the versions? That should be one of your main reasons to get rich. Not just to get stuff. To take care of the people you love. And to experience a new version of existence before you die. For the same reason you travel. For the same reason you try a new place, a new country, a new meal. Try a new life. Try a life where you're not broke. Try a life where you're not a peasant. You are only living once. And you're sitting there saying you don't have motivation. You don't have motivation to change the entire game before you expire and end up in the ground. You're never going to wake up rich by accident. Ever. Do you have any idea how good it feels to wake up rich? Just to wake up and think, still rich. Should I buy something else? Oh, right. I already have everything I want. That is a fantastic feeling. And yes, maybe some rich people say money doesn't buy happiness. Fine. Then give it away. Go back to being broke if you want. I might do that one day just for the laugh. Maybe I'll mix it up at the end. Who knows? But I have the choice. That's the point. I worked hard enough to have the choice. You don't. You are broke by force. If I don't have something, it's because I don't want it. If you don't have something, it's because you can't afford it. Very different things. If I don't have a certain car, it's because I chose not to buy it. If If you don't have it, it's because you can't. That means I am in control. That means I'm the winner. That is why it is extremely important that you stop being broke, so you can experience a new life where you matter. Now let's get to the truth about money. Money is one of the most common things on the planet. They print it from thin air. They don't need to mine it. They don't need to find it. They don't need to dig it up out of the ground. They type it into a computer. So money itself is not rare. But there are things that are rare. A man who is dependable is rare. A man who turns up on time is rare. A man who does what he is told, tries his best, doesn't lie, doesn't cheat, doesn't scam, doesn't make excuses, and actually gives a damn about his work. That is rare. And if you are that kind of person, you will end up rich, because money is worth nothing. That kind of man is worth everything. If money is not being thrown at you, it is because you are not the kind of person who deserves to have money thrown at them. That is the truth. The same way a rare woman doesn't need to chase, a rare man does not stay broke. A man who shows up, shakes hands firmly, dedicates himself, doesn't lie, doesn't cheat, doesn't scam, does what he's supposed to do, and takes pride in what he does. That man gets paid, because he is more valuable than money. And the way to make money is to become more valuable than money. Truthfully, there are not many doers. There are not many people who wake up and decide to actually go do something properly. And that is why those people always end up rich. It is almost impossible for them not to. New money is created every day. Of course, it is going to flow toward the people who deserve it. It's not going to flow toward the idiots, is it? It has to go somewhere. And it goes in the direction of the doers. So the next time you sit there asking, "How do I make money? I need money." Stop putting money above you. Money is not above you. Money is below you. You are a far more complicated thing than money. You have memory. You have pain. You have instincts. You have history. You have experience. You have thoughts, feelings, emotion, insight. And if only you became a little more disciplined, a little more focused, a little more dedicated, you would rise above money. And once you are above money, it flows to you. People pay for presence. People pay for access. People pay for competence. People pay for value. That's the game. And it is not even that difficult. Because the competition is low. Ridiculously low. There are people out there right now in this broken world, still obsessed with sports stars, pop music, TikTok, nightlife, gossip, and distractions. Their competition is zero. They are out drinking. They are watching sports. They are staring at their phones. They are losers. All you have to do is focus on yourself. That's it. Focus on yourself and you will win. You can even train your own mind to enjoy it. You can decide. You can sit down and say, "I'm going to work 12 hours and I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to be miserable. I'm not going to be stressed. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it." You can blink and cure your brain. You can decide to enjoy focused work. You can decide to love effort. And once you do, your output changes completely. Now let's talk about failure. Get up, fail, and fail again. Because failure is the only way you learn anything real. When I learned to box, I got knocked out. When I learned to make money, my first business failed. I lost everything, and I had to start over. That is where the lesson is. If you don't fail, what did you learn? If you keep your hands down and nobody punishes you for it, you never learn to keep them up. If your business has bad cash flow and you somehow survive, you never learn how important cash flow is. Failure is the lesson. That's all it is. So when somebody says, I failed, what they really mean is, I learned. And if you don't fail, you often stay stupid longer. So ask yourself something honestly. When is the last time you tried with all your heart and failed? Not half tried, not lazy, not kind of gave it a go. All your heart. Because if you actually live like that, then you realize something very powerful. You are successful almost all the time. Which means what? It means you need to keep trying new things. That is how you grow. Now, one of my favorite things to ask a loser is this: why did you lose? And it is amazing how they answer. It is never their fault. Never. It was the weather, the timing, the market, the girl, the boss, the economy, the mood, some outside force. Never them. But even if it rains, it's still your fault you went outside. Even if it rains, it's your fault you didn't check the forecast. Even if it rains, it's your fault you didn't bring an umbrella. Even if it rains, maybe it's your fault you couldn't sprint home because you're too unfit to run. It is all your fault. Every scenario contains your choices. And that's good news, because if it's your fault, then it's under your control. Losers hate that. Winners love it. Now look at the biggest lie they ever sold you. The safe path. Get a job. Be sensible. Stay safe. Don't take risk. So you do. You get the job. You sit in traffic. You listen to HR departments. You get 2 weeks of freedom a year. Your dreams never happen. But it was safe, right? No. AI is coming for your job. Companies are cutting people. The so-called safe path was never safe. That is the joke. The risk was always there. So if the risk is there either way, and one path offers slavery while the other offers freedom, why would you choose slavery? Why would you not learn to make money for yourself? Why would you not reclaim your freedom? Now look around. The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting poorer. The middle is disappearing. There is no middle anymore. There are have-nots and have-yachts. That is where it is going. Every day the gap gets wider. Think of it as two islands. On one island, the rich get richer every day. On the other, the poor get poorer every day. And between them is a river that keeps widening. It becomes a lake, then an ocean. Then one day, it is too wide to cross. And you are trapped forever on the island you chose. So make the decision now. Are you going to swim while it's still a river? Or are you going to wait until it becomes an ocean and then pretend you were unlucky? Because by the time you finally realize that action was your only way out, it may already be too late. I have never met somebody with a fantastic life who did not believe in himself completely. Never. I have never seen a man allow life to happen to him, get crushed by sadness, take months off because his heart got broken, and still go on to do massively important things. It doesn't happen. Because life is competitive. It's player versus player. And there are people out here who do not stop. That's the difference. When your heart breaks and you take months off, somebody else keeps working. When you cry, somebody else builds. When you quit, somebody else compounds. And then one day you look up and realize they are gone, beyond your reach. Their bloodline wins. Yours pays the price. That is reality. Now you ask, How can a man go through so much hardship and still call himself lucky? Easy. Because all the hard things that happened to him became building blocks. Every bad thing, every threat, every attempt, every trauma, all of it became fuel. All of it became power. That is what luck really looks like. Not a soft life. A hard life you used properly. That is luck. God gives some men endless power through pain, and they waste it. That's the tragedy. A broken heart, betrayal, fear, stress. These are not only curses, they are fuel. Nitrous oxide for the soul, if you use it correctly. So when people say, "This happened to me, I'm sad," the answer is simple. Good. Now use it. You have been given energy. Use it properly. That is why the hard life can still be a lucky life. Because every terrible thing that happened gave you another brick, another weapon, another source of power. And if you stack those long enough, hard enough, and correctly enough, you build something extraordinary. That's the difference between a man who collapses and a man who becomes dangerous.